Hey there, friend. Thanks for stopping by the channel and for watching what's probably my very last video of 2023. And I know it's been probably 2 months since my last official real video. That was the live footage from the Forever Donna show in Miami. But the last 2 months of the year always get busy around the studio and always get busy with a lot of corporate and private gigs. I mean, it's the time. If you're a working musician, it's the time to get out there and make hay. So as of yet, I haven't turned YouTube into my career. So I have this other job behind me that I have to do before I get to doing this one. Anyway, I do have a goal for being much more consistent with my content in the coming year. So if there's anything that you'd like to see, any questions you have, any topics for any videos you'd like to see, put them down in the comments. I'd like to know what you want to see. And speaking of goals, that's exactly what I wanted to talk about with you today. Now, I almost didn't make this video because I don't want to sound preachy. I don't want to sound like I've got it all together and I know all the answers, because to be honest with you, I don't. I've been very fortunate that for almost 30 years, I've been able to live in a town that has sustained my dreams and my goals and my vision for myself. And I just wanted to share some thoughts with you that I use these every single year to really focus my ability to see where I am right now and really train my eye on where I want to go, both with my career and personally. You can use these tips and tricks and strategies for anything that you want to do for yourself in 2024. I'm mainly going to talk about career goals, but they could be any kind of goals. So let's get started. In this very last week of the year, right after Christmas, I want you to sit down and take the entire week. You can take 20 minutes a day, an hour a day. The amount of time is totally up to you. But I want you to start with looking at your victories and your vulnerabilities for 2023. First, I want you to take a victory lap. Look back on the last year and look at all the triumphs, all of the successes, all the things that went right with the decisions that you made, the places where you put your effort. Really take a moment to take a victory lap on those things. If you even just did one thing in the year, I want you to embrace that victory. You're gonna need it to propel you forward. You're gonna need it to start generating the momentum to get you into 2024. Now, I also, though, want you to take a look at your vulnerabilities. Where did you fall short? Where did you not meet your expectations? Where did you just flat out fail? Because again, being honest, as much as I accomplished in 2023, I had a lot of failure as well. And so for me, I'm going to look back on those things and I'm going to really try and codify what happened. And I'm going to look at the results and walk back just a little bit and say, what got me to that place? What got me to that point of failure? Or why did I fall short of the mark? Or maybe where did I not do enough to see those goals met? And this is a place where I want you to practice what I call radical honesty. In the safety of your own space, I want you to be radically honest with yourself about those successes and especially about those vulnerabilities or those failures or those shortcomings. The only way that you're going to move forward is to be radically honest with yourself. Now, based on that information, we're going to ask an important question. Who are you now? I have a problem sometimes with feeling and acting like I did when I was 30. I'm not that same person. I'm not in that same place in my life. I'm not in that same place in my career. And I'm not the same person. I've grown, hopefully, grown and developed because of the experiences and the things that I've gone through and the work that I've done, the people that I've met, the conversations I've had, the situations that I've gone through. Hopefully, I've grown. So I need to ask, who am I now? Who are you now? Truly try and evaluate where you are in your locale, in your industry, and if you're a musician, evaluate where you are on your instrument, your skills, your abilities, the things that you do well, the things that you maybe don't do well yet. Take an honest assessment of where all of your time, effort, and energy has gotten you to this point. Who are you now? Now, as you're putting this picture together, you might not have a completely objective view of yourself, who you are, how you are, what that status or that standing is in this moment. So feel free to phone a friend. Talk with people that truly know you, that know a lot or most of the details of your career, that have seen your successes, that have seen your failures, that can give you an objective, third-party, outside view of you and your life and your career. Make sure it's somebody that you really, really trust, because you're going to need to hear some very honest feedback, and you need someone's opinion that you can really rely on. Now, we're going to put a pin in that and come back to this idea of enlisting help to get you to where you want to go. Let's keep moving. Is there some dead weight in your life that you need to ditch? Are there some dreams and goals that you've had for yourself that for whatever reason, going forward in 2024, those dreams, those ambitions, those processes, those workflows, or those states of mind are not going to work for you? Will you be able to achieve more by cutting loose of some of these goals that just no longer serve you, or they no longer fit in the landscape of 2024? I can't have the same goals for Brian that I had in 1995 or in 2000 or in 2010 or heck, not even 2022. I've got to look at all my goals, all my dreams, all my ambitions and ask myself, are there some things that, given who I am now, given where I am now, do I need to cut those things away and shift my focus elsewhere so that I can move faster and more efficiently towards the goals that I have for 2024? Now, next comes the fun part. I want you to dream big. I don't want you to think about small things right now. I want you to dream big. If you put all of your time, all of your effort, all of your energy, and every bit of your enthusiasm into this process, where could you be a year from now? I want you to dream big. Think into the white space of your life, places that you've never gotten to, achievements that you've never dared dream. Really go over and beyond what you think is possible. Survey the landscape of the industry and really ask yourself, what landscape am I operating on top of right now? If being a multi-millionaire rock star that sells 10 million records a year isn't the landscape of the music business, might want to cut that one loose. That was one of my goals back in 1995, by the way. Funny where life takes you. Anyway, survey the culture, survey the landscape, survey your industry, whatever industry you're in. If you're in music, then you're in the right place. I can tell you a little bit about that stuff. What are the opportunities and the modalities that are available for you in 2024? And then I want you to make a list. As you're dreaming big, list all of the possibilities, all of the goals, all of the things that you'd like to see happen for you in 2024. If you want to future cast 5 years from now, you can include some of those dreams as well. The whole point of this is to lay all of the possibilities out in front of you. Now, I want you to make that list, and once you have it, I want you to look at each item, and I want you to go into great detail in your mind about what that outcome looks like. I want you to write down for yourself, what would that outcome look like for you if you were to achieve it in 2024? I want you to think about all of the positive impact that that particular goal might have for you. Is it going to help you square your finances, get out of debt, buy that house you've always wanted? Buy that piece of gear that you've never been able to afford? Is it going to help you with being able to go places and do things you've never done before? What are the positive impacts of that achievement? Gigs that you've never gotten to play before, places you've never gone, albums you have yet to make. Anything is on the table for this part of the process. And next, I also want you to be, again, radically honest. What are going to be some of the negative effects of reaching those goals? And there's always going to be some sort of negative effect when you reach a particularly important, lofty goal. Are there going to be some people that you need to shed from your life? Are there going to be some habits that you need to shed from yourself? Are there some things that are going to change about your life or your lifestyle? Maybe even where you live. You've got to be radically honest about how might this negatively affect or adversely affect my life if I achieve these goals? And is it worth that payment? Is it worth that trade to reach the goal that I'm looking for? Now, once you have that list, that blue sky list that's all of the possibilities for you, I want you to narrow your list to the top 2 or 3 things that you want to accomplish in 2024. What are the priorities? What are the most important things that you want to get done with the limited and the finite amount of time, resources, and energy that you have? All of those are finite. You've got to be very honest about what you have to spend and how much you have to spend on these blue sky goals. So we're only going to pick 2 or 3. Put them at the top of your list. Now, don't completely jettison everything else that's on that list. I just want you to put them in a different pile. I want you to set them aside for now, because some of the things that you may work towards may help you achieve those things, so they're not off the table. But you can't do everything that you'd like to dream about in the span of 365 days. It's just not possible. There's only so much time. There's only so much money and other resources. There's only so much energy and attention that you have. So you've got to be really cognizant of what needs to be the priority for all 3 of those. Now that you have that list, and it's going to be a scary list, if it's not scary enough, go back and rethink these things. I want you to pick some scary things. I want you to pick some things that are slightly out of the reach of your reach. If it's just beyond your fingertips, go further. And when you've got those 2 or 3 things, now that we've thought big, I need you to get small. We're going to start small. I want you to think of 1 or 2 things that you can do today that will inch you closer to each one of those goals. Now, you don't have to take action today. We just need to have a place to start. So 1 or 2 things that you can do on each one of those goals that will inch you forward today, right now, before the end of your day. And once you have those things listed, I want you to think 1 more step. Come up with 1 or 2 more next steps. After you take your first couple of steps, what do you think the next things are that you need to do? What would you do tomorrow? Or what would you do the day after? You don't have to know all of the steps to get from where you are to where you want to go, but you at least need the first few things to get you started. As we go along to where you're wanting to end up, the rest of the picture is going to fill itself in. We just need to know where to start. And sometimes when you're thinking about all the steps in between where you are and where you want to go, it can be quite overwhelming. So I don't want you to think about the whole process. I don't even want you to start at the end and think backwards. I want you to think, what are 1 or 2 things I can do today? And once I accomplish those, what are 1 or 2 things I can do tomorrow for every one of those goals? Now, this next step, we got to be really careful, because this is where you're going to start to show your work. So in 2024, as you take each one of these steps, we're going to show our work. We're going to show it first to ourselves. When you get to the end of the day, when you get to the end of the week and the end of the month, you're going to turn around and you're going to look at your efforts and you're going to see, did I achieve those small goals or do those small tasks that I outlined for myself? And I want you to be careful with all of this, because the tendency for most people is to run and tell your family, to run and tell every one of your friends, to talk about it in every conversation that you have. And I've heard a lot of self-help gurus say, you've got to get maniacally focused, and every thought that comes from your brain has to be focused towards those goals, and everything you talk about has to be those goals. So when you're having a conversation with someone, you've got to just wedge No, that's not what I want you to do. I want you to be protective of your dreams. dreams. I want you to be protective of these big blue sky ideas that you have, and also protective of every one of those little steps that you take. When both my sons were first starting to walk, we didn't sit across the room and watch them try. We were within an arm's length of them, making sure that we could catch them if they fell. We were protective of their first steps. And I want you to be protective of your first steps and your blue sky dreams, because not everybody is going to see the vision that you have for yourself. In 1994, when I wanted to move from my hometown and move to a big city and start a career in the music business, a lot of the people that I knew at the time, especially the people I worked alongside and the people that I worked with, and a lot of people that I talked to every day, when I shared these things with them, they were pretty dismissive in a variety of ways. You don't need that, because most people are not going to see your vision. They're not going to see what you see out in that blue sky area. So you need to protect that. Now, you are going to find a friend or two, someone that you trust, someone that has always been your cheerleader and has always been a great sounding board for you. Either their encouragement or their advice you value incredibly. Now, if you're going to pick a friend that is also in the music business or also in your industry, I want you to pick someone who's done the things, or some of the things, that you're aspiring to do. Maybe they're halfway between where you are and where you want to go. They're somewhere in the middle, and they've taken a lot of those steps to get that much further along, to that next level or that next tier or that next place in the continuum. I want you to pick people that are informed, that are wise, that know good ideas from bad ideas, that have maybe made some mistakes that they can inform you about. And generally, people that are going to become cheerleaders for you in this process. If you want to, you could even pick someone that's at your level, that has your level of focus and your level of ambition, and you can partner up with them. Now, drummers don't pick other drummers. Even when we try not to, we get in these situations of this friendly competition if someone does exactly what we do. So I want you to pick someone that's radically different from what you do. Their skill sets are different, their goals are different, but maybe they're at the same tier, and you can grow together with that person. It gives you a daily or a weekly accountability partner that you can share your progress with. You can talk about your process, and you can talk about those successes, those failures, those wins, those losses. And you can really become almost like a workout buddy. But again, be very selective about who you pick. One of the things that I found out a long time ago is you don't know what you don't know. So when you're trying to find some place of accountability, one of the things that I always suggest is that you find professional help. Now, that could be a teacher, that could be a coach or a mentor, someone who can be completely objective, that has no emotional investment, that has no possibility of competing with you for any of the opportunities that you're looking for. You want to pick someone who's been successful at whatever they're qualified to train you to do. So if you're going to find a drum teacher who's operating at a level far above where you're operating. They may not be where your blue sky goal is, but they're certainly much further along the way. If you can find someone that's doing what you're wanting to do, even better. But you want to find some professional help that can come in the way if it's a musician learning the skills that they don't know, and getting honest evaluations about where they are in the continuum. You want to find a teacher, a drum teacher, or guitar, keys, whatever instrument you play, a teacher that can honestly evaluate you and help you through this process. If you need a mentor, someone who's been successful in other areas, that has the time and the ability and understands how to foster talent, you can always look for some kind of mentor, someone who maybe is already gone through this process, is much older than you, and just because they like you and they see your talent, Maybe they want to give you some of their time, or maybe you exchange value for value. I've done that with mentors in the past where there are things that I know about that some of the people that have mentored me have no clue about. And so what we actually will do is we'll swap information, we'll swap experiences, we'll swap knowledge. So maybe you'll find one of those people. Don't hold out for that. If the fastest way to get where you want to go is to pay a professional, take that route. It works. It works. I guarantee you. And now if the thing that you're wanting to do requires that you really show your work, if your goal is to do, a dozen drum tracks for different recording clients, maybe you do post some video of those drum tracks as you're doing them each month. If the social platforms can act as a tool to help garner momentum and move you forward towards your goal, feel free to post your work, the progress that you're making, the things that you're doing. Feel free to post those in whatever way and give people an opportunity that may not be in your life to evaluate your progress or give you some advice. But be careful. The social platforms are a sticky wicket to get into because we all know there's a lot of haters. I mean, just look at some of the comments on my YouTube videos. There's a lot of people that don't do this for a living and have never done this in any professional capacity. They have a lot of comments and a lot of we won't go any further than that. So now that you're armed with your list of goals and your first steps towards each one of those goals, and you've got some way to be accountable for the work that you're going to put in, I want you to not just dip your toe into the pool of 2024. I want you to go to the deep end and dive in head first, starting on January 1st. You notice I didn't say, December 26th, come up with your goals. December 27th, come up with your action steps. December 28th, get right to it. No. Take the entire week to really work through this and get yourself prepared both mentally and physically. Maybe there are things that you need to do in your world. Maybe there are calls that you need to make. Maybe there are things that you need to set up. There's going to be some other processes that you need to go through over the course of the next week. So I want you to make January 1st your dive-in day. And I want you to dive in wholeheartedly with all your enthusiasm, with all your effort. And once you get into January the 1st, take that one or those two action steps for goal number one. Take that action step towards goal number two. If you have a third goal, take that action step and then look at your next steps. Think about what you're going to need to do to prepare for January the 2nd. You don't have to spend the entire day doing this stuff. If you've got the time, you've got the effort, you've got the energy, the resources to spend an entire day, or if the step requires it, go right ahead. But if you're only spending 15 or 20 minutes and you accomplish that step, mark it as a win in your win column. Mark it as a triumph, and you're going to celebrate it at the end of the day. My point is, don't wait until you feel like it. Don't wait for the right time. And certainly don't wait for someone to give you permission. Jump on those small steps. Get started on day one and make some progress every single day. So I hope all of this helps you. Regardless of how your 2023 has been, 2024 can be a completely different story for you. I know it's going to be for me. Go through these steps. If you need someone to bounce your ideas off of, if you get stuck at any point, feel free to DM me. Let me know where you're at. Let me know what you've been doing. Ask me how I can help you. I would love to be able to help you along your journey in 2024. Let's lock arms and do this thing together. I thank you so much. If you got something out of this video, if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe to the channel. And if you think that there's someone else that could find this information valuable and inspiring, make sure you share this video with them. If you're looking on Facebook or any of the other social platforms, please make sure you give me a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and share this on your social media as well. I would greatly appreciate it. It helps me to increase my reach, and it helps me to achieve some of these goals that I have for myself. Thanks so much for watching this video and for doing the homework, going on the journey with me. That's all I've got for you for 2023. Until next time, remember, be awesome to yourself, be awesome to everyone that you meet. And until next time, 2024, I'll see you when I see you. Thanks so much.